So the only thing you can do now is you can I will also, you can only send a chat, okay, to this chat box. I will see whatever chat you've sent, and then I will reply, I will respond to it. So somebody is asking for the file we are using for the training, no problem. So the class is being recorded, and then we want to kick off. Okay, so let's begin the class now. Yeah, so we've looked at text to column. We've looked at all these. Let's check what this is talking about. Okay, let's go to all this sheet. Yeah, so this was the last item that we worked on. We worked on the mode function. And the mode function, you have a number that you put in that formula to divide the whole numbers, right? And we understand how the mode function operates. Then we also had all these items that we also did the other day by using the if function and also the concatenate. We already know that the concatenate, what it does is that it wants to join things together, okay? So, and that is how we're able to achieve all these things that were joined together, okay? You can always go back to it and understand it the more. Now, the next thing we are looking at is the sort. How do we sort our files? I've told us the other day that, yeah, we've also worked on this as well. We look at the normal way to sort. I told you if you want to sort, select the headings of where you want to sort. It's very important. Make sure if you want to sort, don't just sort only salary. This is an heading, right, which is column F. Don't just sort only salary. Make sure you are selecting everywhere that you want to sort. Okay, if you select everywhere you want to sort, the next thing you want to do is that you want to go to your, let's check our view. Okay, not view, let's check review. Not review, let's check data. Yeah, so you go to data. Under data, you will see these few. Just activate it, click it, and then you discover that there is this drop down that is automatically attached. So when you click on the drop down, you can easily select smallest to largest or largest to smallest. I also told us that there's another better way to sort. For instance, I want to get the total accountant that we have. Maybe this our workbook is like so long, right? It's up to like 1 million data in the workbook. And then we want to get how many accountants do we actually have in Dangote. How many accountants do we have in Dangote Refinery? So we quickly come to our Excel sheet that we have been populating, right? So that Excel sheet, we want to sort this Excel sheet for the Excel sheet to show us all the accountants that we have. So we're asking, how much salary have we actually paid to the accountants? So once we get the accountants like this, the manual thing people do is that they come over to the salary and then start adding the salaries like this, right? But we don't want to do that because we should be more advanced, right? So what we do is that we are going to use formula. Whenever you want to sum, the best formula to use is sum if. Okay, use the sum if formula. So how does the sum if formula work? We also said the other day that the sum if formula works like you are sending Excel to this place. We want to get accountant. Send Excel to column E. When you send Excel to column E, then tell Excel that Excel come and sum. If you see under column E, if you see accountant, come and sum the figure in front of accountant. So Excel does that for you and it sums all the figures in front of accountant. Now this thing is spelling sensitive. If you are putting accountant here, make sure the accountant you're putting here, the same spelling is what you have across board. And also where you want, what you want to also use to sort, also make sure that the same spelling is the same. If you're not putting the same spelling, there's going to be an issue. It's clear that Excel is not going to return the right information you want to get. So how do we use the sum if? So let's come here. Let's say we have the data we want to sum. So let's really come over here. Let's see how many different category of people do we have. We have accountants, we have HEs, we have HR, IT, PGPA, we have SCM. So we can quickly come and let's say we want to copy all these. Is it possible? We come here into V. It's not working. So accountants, accounts. We've done this before. I just felt let's just quickly check it again. HES, The next one, HR. The next one, we have SCM. The next one, we have IT. The next one, we have PGPA. The next one, what else do we have? I think that should be all. Yeah, so we want to now quickly put a formula. Now, we are not only trying to ask ourselves how many accountants we have, how many HRs we also have. Let's assume this data is up to 1 million. So quickly, you can quickly come here and say equal to, you say sum if is what you're going to use. Sum if, you open your bracket, you say that if you go to column E, right? So the column E we are going to use, you see the way I selected column E is showing that every aspect of column E has been selected. So another thing you want to do is that you want to also say, you want to put your dollar sign so that it makes it permanent, right? So we say if you go to column E, right? You go to column E, sorry. You go to column E. When you go to column E, we now put a comma. You put a comma. We now say if you see accountant, we come and select where accountant is. You see accountant, right? So in front of this accountant, also want to put a dollar sign in front of A, so that it doesn't shift away from there. So put a dollar sign here, but it's not compulsory that you must do that, okay? So if you see accountant, comma, we now come over here and put another comma, and then what you want to do, you see accountant, come and sort, come and sum the things that is in front of accountant. So what do we do? We want to put our dollar sign, our dollar sign here. Then the next thing you want to do is that you want to close the bracket. Close the bracket and hit enter. Automatically, it's going to go there and sum. Now, it's going to go there and sum any number that is attached to this accountant. So you want to make sure that here you are not having any misspelled accounts. Don't have accounts here without S and have accounts here with double S, or have accounts here without T. Make sure that all the, so if you come to the bottom, the top, the best way to know whether you have double account is come to the top and click on the drop down button. You will see that the only thing that is coming here is only one account. Fine. It means that our spelling is accurate for all of the accounts that we have there. You can see we only have one HR as well. We only have one IT. We only have one PGPA, SCM, HES, and so on and so forth. So this is how that should be. So without wasting time, when you've done this, right? Okay, somebody's hand is up. Somebody's raising his hand. So once you have done that, so you can send a chat. You that you raised your hand, if you have any question, quickly send it in chat. So once you've done this, the next thing you want to do is that you now quickly autofill. You just double tap and then you get all the other information that you need. So you can now also come here and also put a comma here, put a comma somewhere around here. Okay, so this is what we are going to get. So this is how to use the sum if function. Whenever we are trying to, here we are trying to sort. We are looking at the sort icon. When you want to sort, select all the places where you have information that you want to sort. Don't only select only salary. Don't say, I want to get salary of accountant. Okay, you are not summing only salary, or you are sorting only salary, Make sure you select everywhere where there's edit in your worksheet. Select all the places because you want everything to sort together, so that it's not like when you sort this in, right, another salary will now be appearing in front of accounts. No, you want to make sure you select everything before you go and select your, is it formula or data? Yes, your data, and then you're selecting the sort icon. So if you come to the right hand side, let's see what we have at the right hand side here. So at the right hand side here, they're saying to sort a list of data, simply select the cell in the column by which you intend to sort from the data tab, right? From this data tab in the sort and filter group, right? Click sort A to Z, okay? We've had that. Sort numbers. Select a column of numeric data in a range of cell. or make sure that the active cell is in a table column, right, containing numeric data. On the top, whatever, click on whatever. So that's that. So we're done with sorting. So if you have any question on sorting or on some if, you can quickly drop it on the chat now. And if you feel that the chat will not be enough for you, you will see one on top, you can raise your hand. Okay, thank you. So let's move on. Yeah, so the next thing we want to do is we want to leave this sort icon, but for emphasis, to emphasize, right? To emphasize, this is what we want to sort. We want to get the total number of accountants that we have. We want to get the total number of HR. So where is accountant? Where is the designation? This is the department. So we are telling Excel, come to this place where we have all the designation, right? When you come to all this place where we have designation, locate account. When you locate account, then come and sum everything that relates to account under this column. So that's what we did again. So I just said I should still reiterate that. Let's now come to this other side. Yeah, so this is another data. So I told us the best way to know if something is if something is a data or is a formula is you need to press your control tilde. Your control tilde will tell you whether this is just a data set or is like the main report that you're looking for. So obviously here, there's no formula here at all. So this is just like a data set that they populated. So let's leave here. We don't need this. Let's move further. Probably we might need this information in another topic that we're going to. So they're coming to filter now. Filter. Okay, so I've been able to explain both sorting and filtering together. We've sorted this thing before. So when you are sorting, okay, sorting, filter, if you want to filter something, you have sorted, right? We now have accountants staying together. We have IT, we have HR. So let's sort it. Let's sort it now. We come here, we click on sort A to Z. Okay, now we now have accountants staying together. We have HE staying together. We have HR staying together. We have IT staying together, and so on and so forth. So to now filter it, right? To filter it, you now come back to this place that you have sorted, right? You now unselect everything, unselect it. When you select it, you now say, okay, what information am I looking for? I want to only see information about accountant. You now select information about accountant. You click on OK, and automatically you are filtering by what you need. So you need information about accountant. That's why you're seeing only the results that relates to accountant. So there is one thing to sort. When you sort it, everything is either going to be alphabetically A to Z or Z to A. After you sorted, the next thing is that you want to now say, okay, what information am I actually looking for? Are you looking for information about IT? So that is where you now filter the information that you've gotten to only get the information that is useful to you. So that is what filtering is about, okay? We filter only the information that is needed at any particular point in time. So that data set that we've gotten, they now came over here, they now click on the sort icon. Before you click on the sort icon, then after that, you can now filter it based on what you want to achieve. Okay, you filter it based on what you want to achieve. All right, so let's move on. Let's go to another sheet. So that means with that, we've looked at sorting, we've looked at filtering, and so on and so forth. So this is another data set. Now there's what we call advanced filtering. There are times you only want to filter by only one specific one specific column, right? Sorry, one specific item in a column. Whether you want to filter by number of people that passed, right? You just quickly come here, select here, and then you see that there are people that failed. There are also people that passed. So let's say we're only interested in people that failed. So we just unselect everything. When we unselect everything, right, then we only select the people that failed. We click on OK, and then we look at what happened. So now only one person failed. So this is how to filter. But this kind of filtering, we're only filtering by only one position. There are times that you want to filter by more than one character. Probably you want to filter by student registration number. You also want to filter by probably status type, or you want to also filter by date. So you can filter by more than one character. You can filter by student registration number, and let's assume you want to see only students that failed. You want to see it, then you also want to see it according to certain dates. Probably you have information that relates to the beginning of the year to the end of the year, but you are not interested in all the years. You're not interested in some portion of the year, right? So you can just say, okay, I want to actually see, because this our sheet shows information for people that failed and also people that passed. So you only want to see people that failed as well. You want to also select a certain range, maybe like a certain date range. So you know, say, okay, maybe I only need for people that failed for the month of, let's say, May. So you can just come here and select by May. So you filter everything and just say, okay, I only need for May. You select May. I click on OK. So you select it simultaneously when you're trying to filter. So let's go and look at that advanced filter option. The advanced filter option is what we want to get. So we have this information again. Here is the contract set that you want to filter. Just give me 2 minutes. I'm coming. 2 minutes. So this is the data set you want to filter. Now, this is the data set you want to filter. Now, we are trying to look at the advanced filter option. So this advanced filter option now you want to filter not only by the department, you also want to filter by probably the, let's say, name, right? So what you need to do is just come and select the heading where you have the information that you're actually looking for. So you want to filter by where the information you are looking for. So I want to filter now by the by the names, probably. No, by the department. Also, I also want to filter by either the name of the person. So either we have different people in different departments. We have more than one Akpan. Maybe we have Akpan in accounts. We have Akpan in HR. We have Akpan in different locations. But we know that what we are looking for Akpan. He said, please, is it possible to click on everything on column E and type accounts rather than we type in the test somewhere else? No, it's not possible. Sorry. So you now come here. What you are trying to do is you are still doing is still like it's not possible. That what you're asking is not possible. Okay, but let me give you audience. Let me let you explain what you're trying to say. Probably I can get you better if you explain it by yourself. So let me unmute you and let's hear from you. Okay. So people that want to speak now, that person that asked that question. Now the mic is active. So ask the question now. Ask the question.
Okay, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, I would just like to clarify on the submit. Yeah, the submit we did for the accounts, whereby you have to use the column E and then you click on the account you typed below. So I was saying, okay, what if you click on the column E and then you type that account
as text,
and you type that account as text, will it still work? Rather than linking, yeah.
So this is what he said. He said we are here, we want to filter, right? So we come over here and okay, let me undo what I did here. Let me undo it. I want to redo. Okay, so I select everything. I think this is not the data we are using. This is not the data. Everyone look for the data we're using. So I think this is sort. So now you are saying that I select everything like this, right? Is that what you're saying? Hello, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So when I select everything, what do you say I should do again?
You now, instead of you clicking on the account of 16 where you type accounts, what if you type accounts as text?
Actually...
Can you hear me? Sorry, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear
so
you.
That place yes, that place you click on that one 917,500.
Okay.
So can you click on that? You have a formula there.
Yes. So let me let the formula show. Okay, you can see the formula, right?
Yes. So I was saying instead of
Can you
clicking
see the
on that
formula?
A16, yes, I can see it. The
Okay.
A16 you typed on, which is that account. Can we type
Yes.
it as test and you still give
Yeah, we
us the
can.
same thing?
We
Okay.
can. We can. But
But
this is a challenge. The challenge is that when you type a text you can't autofill it. The reason why we
oh,
put on in a cell is because we want to be able to autofill. If you type accountant in the text, you're going to get your answer. But if you autofill it, it's only accountants that you type there that will be showing only information about accountant.
oh,
When you want a situation whereby when you autofill it, it will adjust the formula by itself and capture for this guy, capture for this, capture for this, capture for this, and this. So that's why we are using the information in the cell rather than using the content of the cell.
oh, okay. Thank you. It's clear. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you also. So now the next thing we're looking at is advanced filtering. So let's try and practice advanced filtering. Let
Hello, sir. You're muted. Oh.
Hello. Kẹ́hìndé.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know. I'm not hearing anything. I don't know if the class is on.
Mr. Johnson is like the network throwing off, so we are still expecting him back. He's not back yet. I
Okay.
yeah, I think his network threw him out of the class. So let's
Okay.
just wait. Let's just wait and see if he will come back.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Okay, it's a network. Sorry, it's a network. I'm back now. Sorry, I didn't even notice. Yeah, I'm back now. Sorry, I think it's a network. I didn't know what really happened. All right. So yeah, sorry everybody. I didn't know I was off the call. So let me ask us. We can. Our mic is on. Can we tell me where was the last thing I said before I went off? Hello.
You're talking about advanced sorting.
Where was I when I left off? Can you hear me?
You're discussing about the advanced sorting. Advanced sorting.
Okay.
Yes, that's where you were. The advanced sorting. So you just wanted to show us how to do the advanced sorting when you went off.
Oh wow, wow! I didn't notice. Wow. Sorry. Wow, that's a long way. I was already doing something else again. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. For that advanced sorting that we didn't get, I'll go over it again in our next class. So I said for the advanced sorting and for the data validation, we shall check it later on. I didn't know that my network was actually off. I was already going to something else, which is I was already going to VLOOKUP, and I've done a lot of work on VLOOKUP. So let's check. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that. I apologize. So this is what we're going to do for the advanced sorting and for the data validation. We are going to check it next class. So those advanced sorting, advanced filter, sorry, and data validation, we'll check it next class. So let's just work on let's go to the lookup function. So the lookup function, the first one we're looking at is the VLOOKUP. So for that VLOOKUP, I want to explain what VLOOKUP does, right? So VLOOKUP, this is what it does. You want to go and look up something. It's just like you are trying to look up for something. Now, you usually use it when you are trying to prepare a report. Let's say the report you are trying to prepare, you have a data set. I told us the other time that there could be a data set that contains a lot of information. And for instance, let's check here. Let me do something like this. A data set that contains a lot of information. So this is a data set. Then
we can't see your work screen.
Okay, you can see my screen again.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me check again. Right. Sorry about that. Is the network or is not me? Sorry. Sorry, it was the network. I was actually teaching when the call came. I just said, let me just check what the person was calling for, only to discover that I have been logged out. So when you have a lookup function, what it does is it goes to look up for things, right? So you have a data set. Let's assume this is a data set, and this data set contains certain information. It's not the actual report. It just contains information that you want to use for your report. So for this data set, that's what you're going to pick information for to do your report. So let's assume that we have different items, right? We have the edits, we have product code, we have price, we have the discounted price, we have the market price, we have different things, like almost 1 million heading, right? But you want to prepare a report, and there are certain things that you need in your report. Number one, you need the product code. You need the unit price for each of those product codes. You also need the quantity that you need to sell. So the quantity are going to be there. Fine. So the quantity are not going to be there. Here we are only having prices, right? So then here you have totals. So what do you want to do? You want to populate this report. You have a data set. You have been updating this sheet. Immediately you hear about probably all these prices for all these things. You're updating them. So you have to now prepare an invoice for somebody, like either your customer or something. So what you need to do is that you need to actually go and come to where you want to populate that information. So you are going to use the VLOOKUP formula. So the VLOOKUP formula, how does it operate? How does it work? You come here, you say equal to VLOOKUP, right? What do you want to look for? You want to look for an information that relates to Argo. You want to ask, what is the unit price for Argo? For instance, let's say we want to get what the unit price for Argo is. So you come to where Argo is, you come here, this is where you want the unit price to be. We now say equal to, right? You now say VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP. When you say VLOOKUP, you open your brackets, right? You now say, okay, what do we want to go and look for the unit price of? We want to look for the unit price of Argo. So now select Argo. Argo is on F8. So we want to go and get the unit price of Argo. So if you ever put there that is the unit price of Argo we want to go and get. So select Argo. Then you now put a comma. Okay. When you put a comma, so let me see if I'm still on the call. Okay, I'm still on the call. So when you put a comma, okay, we now go to where the data is. Select all the range of the data. These are all the places where the data is. So you select all the range of the data. When you selected all the data range, right, you put a comma again. When you put a comma, then what do you want to get? Are we trying to get the unit price? Are we trying to get the display price? Or are we trying to get the market price? So you now count, start counting. From the beginning of the data you selected, we have column 1. This is our first column. Our first column is F. Our second column is G. Our third column is H. Our fourth column is I. So that means we have 4 columns altogether where our data is. And our data is starting from the first column, which is column F, right? So we now count. What are we counting? We want to go and get the market price. So we count from the first column. We say column 1, column 2, column 3, and column 4. So it's market price we are trying to get, and market price is on column 4. So we now put 4 here. You put 4 here. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to also put a comma. When you put a comma, then you want to ask yourself, do I need a perfect match? Okay. Do I need to return market price that is a perfect match for Argo? So there's a way you can decide to set your data that maybe even if the spelling for Argo is not exactly the same over here, I still want to get the market price for anything that almost look like Argo. But if you put false, false is going to only go and check for only the exact match. It means anything that is not exactly Argo, because you can have Argos and add S to it. So anything that is not exactly Argo, it will not give you any information that is not exactly. So if you have put the place where what you are looking for is, put a comma, and then decide whether you want to get an approximate match or you want to get an exact match. And obviously, let's try and get an exact match. So we come and put false here, F-A-L-S-E, false. Then we close our bracket, then we click on enter. So let me explain it again for the sake of people that are not following. So when you are looking at VLOOKUP, you are looking up for something, right? When you go to, just like the way we normally say, we say, okay, go to the class. When you see Deborah, then sum of all information that relates to Deborah. So we are also trying to go and look up for something. So we now say, okay, let me see if you are following. Okay. So if we are still together, just give me a thumbs up. If you are still together. Yeah, fine. Okay, thank you very much. So we now come here. We are looking at VLOOKUP. So we now say, we already have a data set that we have been populating, right? That data set, we want to use our data set for a report. It means that data set can be so big or so broad or so large that it might be difficult for you to start searching one by one for the information you are looking for. Let's assume we have different product code. We have like 1 million product code. We have their different prices, their discounted prices, their market prices, and everything. So you want to know which of the products do you need. You want to get the product Argo. I want to get for instance, you want to get the unit price for product Argo, right? So what you need to do is that you come here. You know that Argo is actually on F8. That's where Argo is. You come here, you now put equals to, you start with equals to, you say equal to, right? You now say VLOOKUP. When you say VLOOKUP, you now open your brackets, right? Then what are we looking for? We want to go and check for information that relates to Argo. And Argo is on F8, so put F8. When you put your F8, that is representing where Argo is. You put your comma. Okay, when you put your comma, then go and select your data range. Your data is here. All these places, this is where your data is. When you selected your data range, the next thing you want to do is that you want to select a comma. When you select a comma, then you want to go and count where your data is. How many columns are there? In how many columns is your data containing? Your data is from F to I. So say F is one column, G is another column, H is another column, I is another column. So that is 4 columns. That is where your information is. So your information is on 4 columns. So the first column represents F, which is product code. The second column is G, representing price. So if it's price you need, know that you're not going to pick 1, you're going to pick 2 because you are looking for column information in the second column. But if you are looking for information in the third column, you're going to put 3. So those numbers are very important. So now let's assume we want to get market price. Then what column is market price? Who can explain to me on the chat box to be sure that, or unmute your mic, let me be sure that you are following. On what column do we have our market price? So you go to the data range and check, count where the data is. The data is from F. F is column 1. Then it's also on G, which is 2. Is on H, which is 3. Is on I, which is 4. So now, which of them do you need? Do you need the market price? Then if you need the market price, you count 1, 2, 3, 4. So you put 4 here. It's market price I need, so put 4. I need market price, right? When you say you need market price, the next thing you want to do, you want to put another comma. When you put another comma, then you want to tell Excel, am I looking for exact match or am I looking for approximate? It means Excel will come to this table looking for Argo. On this our table, we could have Argos. Maybe you have A, G, O, and S. So it also looks like Argo. So that one can be approximate. Okay? But probably you want to only get exactly information that relates to Argo. So what you need to do is that if you want to get exactly, you put false, type false, F-A-L-S-E, false. But if you want to get anything that is just approximate, you can put true there. Once I've done that, but I suggest that we should also always use our false. False will give us exact match. When you put your false, then you close your bracket and press enter. So automatically you can see that it went to give us information that relates to Argo, right? And it went to pick the market price for Argo. So let's unmute our mic. Let me be sure that you were able to understand what I just said. Unmute your mic and let me be sure you understand what I said. If you don't understand what I said, you can ask question. Is there anybody on this call that does not understand how the VLOOKUP operates? I can explain again if you don't understand it. So number 1, you need to know what you are trying to populate. You have a data set, right? Then out of that data set, you want to prepare a report. You want to prepare a certain report. So you now go to that report you want to prepare. You know the information that you are actually looking out for in that report. So when you go to that information, you discover that in this report you want to prepare, which is going to be contained here at the bottom. So the report you want to prepare, we are looking for product code, which you have put everything here, right? Then, apart from that, we need the unit price of that product, of each product code. Also, we know the quantity that the customer wants to buy. So we can simply say the number of quantities that they want to buy, multiply by the unit price to get the total. That we can quickly say that. But at times, it may be that it is not the unit price that they are looking for. maybe at times they just need a discounted price. Maybe the customer pleaded with you, also got your boss involved, and then your boss is saying, come on, give the customer, because of the long-term relationship, give the customer a discounted price. So now you're no longer looking for the unit price, you're actually looking for a discounted price. So anything can be achieved. The importance of this report or this VLOOKUP is that your data set can be so broad, can be so large that it becomes very tedious to go and start looking for those information. And then you want to populate all your information by just one click. So at the times that you just need to click and just autofill, just press the autofill handle, and automatically it's going to populate like 1 million data for you at a go. So you need to know the function that you need to use at that point in time to achieve what you want to achieve. So here we say, let's assume here we are not looking for unit price. Okay, let's assume we are looking for discounted price. So let's put discounted price, right? You're looking for discounted price. So what you're going to do is that you now come back here. We are looking for, if you go to this data set, you want to go and look for Argo. When we look for Argo, we'll now say, what is the unit price of Argo? Or you can say, come to this data set, look for Argo, then get us the market price of Argo, or get us the discounted price of Argo. And obviously now we want to get the discounted price. And that thing we also want to check is the data range. Check the data. The data is starting from column F, and data is ending at column I. So this is the data range from year to year. This is data, right? So the data is starting from F. The data is going to end at I. So your F, the first column of your data is column 1. The second column of your data is column 2. The third column of your data is column 3. The fourth column of your data is column 4. So we are going to use that number. That number is going to be coming handy. For instance, if you want to get unit price is represented by column 2. That is 2. If you want to get discounted price is represented by 3. If you want to get market price is represented by 4, and so on and so forth. So let's now start working. Now we want to get discounted price. And who can unmute and tell me what column is our discounted price in? What column?
Column 3.
3.
Yeah, that's 3. You are going to count from where the data starts. The data started from here, so you count. Each 1, 2, 3. So you're going to use 3 formulas. So let's come here. Let's start. We delete what is here. We now say equal to. We now say, we know that what we are looking for. We are looking for Argo. Okay, we come to the data set. We look for Argo. Then what do we want to get for Argo? We want to get the discounted price of Argo. Let's assume this data is very large and it will be difficult to start going to trace where Argo is. So just really come to this our place where we need the answer. Just press equal to and press VLOOKUP, then open your brackets. Then we know that we are trying to look for Argo. Argo is on F8. So we type F8. That's where Argo is. We now put our comma. Now the Argo I'm talking about, I'm not talking about on the data table. I'm talking about on the report we want to do. Just like we have DPK here, we have PMS here. So when I put my equal to here, you discover that this place now I can't pick Argo. That's why I have to just type F8. This is F, and then this is 8, right? So F8. So I say equal to VLOOKUP. I open my bracket. I say I'm looking for Argo. I put a comma. Then I'll now go here and select the data range. The data is all over here like this. This is where the data is. Once I've selected the data, I put comma. Then what do I want to get? Do I want to get discounted price? Do I want to get market price? Or do I want to get unit price? Obviously, I want to get discounted price. So I come here and I'll put 3. When I put my 3, I put my comma. Then when I put my comma, the next thing I want to do is that I want to now ask myself, do I want exact match or do I want approximate match? Obviously, I will always want exact match. So look at here. If you press true, you're going to get approximate match. But if you press false, you're going to get exact match. So just press false. So when you press false, you're going to get examiner. So you click enter and look at it. We are having 45 here, and also here we are also having 45. So that is how we are getting our exact match. So you can just autofill, just double tap, and then you autofill, and then you're going to get the answer you want to get. Okay. So here we're not getting our answer. What could be the issue? F12. Okay. Not allowed. Okay, PMS. Yeah. Okay, so let me copy this. Let me copy this like this. Copy. I can't put it here. V. Okay, so we're still getting an error. Okay, so that is that actually. That is that actually. So that is that actually. So that is that actually. Okay, when I'm done now, I'll come and meet you. So that is that actually. So we have been able to get our VLOOKUP, okay, and then we understand what the VLOOKUP function does. Sometimes to understand why we're having an error here, this is our F12, right? Yes, then we come to, okay, so F12. Okay, let me click away. Let me click on. Okay, let me check for something. This place, why we're not getting why we're getting an error? Let me delete it and see. Okay, so let me try it again. I'll just press Ctrl D. It's still giving us error. Okay, so that is that. Any question? Do you have any question as it relates VLOOKUP? Anybody? Any question relating to VLOOKUP? Do we understand it?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, I can hear you now. Go on.
Okay, so now on the Excel sheet, by the formula defined by the side, I saw $sign. I saw VLOOKUP brackets F8 $sign F $sign. I saw this $sign inclusive in the formula, but in this solution you just did in getting the discount in discounted the price. You know, inside dollar figure in it. You know, inside $sign. Was it deliberate or optional?
Okay, so fine. Thank you. Now that could also account for why we are getting this error. Thank you for that question. The question is very wonderful. Now, you discover that we are actually working on a data range. So this data range that we're working on. So if you come and check this data range here, is actually accurate. We started from like F2, right? It's accurate. But because we want to autofill, it now becomes very important for you to make sure that is this data range that Excel is going to use. Excel will not shift away from here. So if you check here, you are going to have F2, right? That is fine. Let's check the other one. You're going to have F3, which is not where the data range is. The data range is actually starting from F2. So that's why you need to lock your data range so that Excel will not shift away from where the data range is. And that is why we are getting error here, because here Excel has gone to F4. And what is now F4? F4 is like Argo. It started from Argo and all that. So and then we are trying to get PMS, and PMS is not here because what Excel is doing here is Excel is selecting this data range here, like this is what Excel is selecting. And under this data range that Excel is selecting, PMS is actually not here. So that is why you need to lock where your data is. So we come over to where our data is and we now put our $sign. You need to press F4. Okay, that is fine. So the other side also, you also come there also, you also press F4. So you also press F4 and that is it. Oh, sorry, let me also come here. We also press F4 here. F4, yeah, so both of them, they have $sign now. So now we can now confidently, you can see, here we have F2 is locked, F also need to have $sign. Then, yeah, the others are good. So now the data range that you're going to use, make sure that you always lock it. So if you lock it, you won't have error sign. So let's now autofill now. When we go here, we now autofill it. And obviously you can see our PMS is actually, what are we looking for? We're looking for discounted price. Our PMS is actually 34 and it's actually correct. So any other question? So the man that asked the question, do you understand now?
Yes, I understand now. Thank you very much.
Is there any other person that have any other question? Okay, I believe we all understand, but there could be some people that don't understand or who ask question. It's also fine. It's also fine. Some people will be on the call, they don't understand, but they won't ask question. Probably because they are afraid of what others might say. Probably they are dragging us back. So here, we want to get our total amount now. We're not saying here equal to this now multiplied by the quantity sold. Click on enter, then obviously come here and autofill, and that is it. That's what you are going to. So we have been able to look at the VLOOKUP table. So let's now come to another data. This is the manpower. This is a manpower data set, right? So from this data set, you can see we have employee name, we have the address, we have the date they were employed, we have the job title, we have the basic salary, and we have a lot of information over here. So now we might be asked to actually get some reports from this our template, right? So from this template, it's important to note that from this template, you might not necessarily need to take the template, open it, and start looking for, okay, where's John? What is his date of birth? Where is Peter? What is his date of birth? How much basic salary are we giving to Peter? Okay, well, what is his job title? So all those, you may not need all those information if you do the right thing, okay? So let's come over here. So with this information, I probably want to now prepare a salary schedule for each of these people, right? I want to prepare a salary schedule based on this information that we have. We have the ID number, we have the employee name, we have the address, we have the date that we employ them, we have the job title, we have the basic rate. So we can come here to this salary sheet, right? So this is what we want to do. So with this salary sheet now, we already know what their ID is. Their ID is what we are going to use to go and look for them. So we already know what their ID is, right? So you must, out of the information that you have, you must at least know one information. So here we have ID, we have employee name, we have address, we have, so at least you must know, you must pick one of the item that you're going to use to trace other information that belongs to them. So here we are trying to use ID. So when I come over here, we have already put out the ID code. These are the ID codes. So it's the ID code now that I want to use to go and search for these people. What are we going to do? We are trying to look for the name, right? We're also trying to look for the job title as well. We're also trying to look for how much, okay, they put this one here, they put all these ones here, but we can also populate all these ones also. So we're trying to look for the names of these people. We're trying to look for their job title. We're also trying to look for their salary. Okay, this is their salary advance. All these people, they took all the salary advance, right? So we already know what their basic salary are. This is their basic rate. However, before the month ended, they've already gone to take an advanced salary. So we come to this table, we come to this place, right? We now say here, we're looking for name. So let's go back to our manpower table and let's check. So this is the first column, one. This is the name. So so what are we going to use if you're looking for name? Who can tell me what number are we going to use if you're looking for name? So the first thing is, how many column is our data on? How many column? Let's count. Column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if you are looking for something like job title, what number will we put? What number are we going to put?
5.
I'm going to put 5. If you are looking for name, what number are we going to put?
2.
We will put 2. So let's check what they ask us to do. We are looking for names. We're also looking for job title. Okay, so for names, we are going to use 2. For job type 2, we'll put, somebody said 5, right? Is it 5? For job title, we are going to put 5. So let's go and work. Let's start our work. So we now come over here. We now say equal to, you start it with equals to, right? Equals to VLOOKUP. Open your bracket. You open your bracket. No, sorry, not this bracket. You open your bracket, right? When I say VLOOKUP, open your bracket, then you now go and then what are we looking for? We are looking for we are to identify them from with their job title. So first of all, select the job ID first. You now put a comma, then you now go and select the data range. So what you need to do is that come and click on the manpower table, right? And then select the total data range. Select the total data range. Fine. So as I have done that, then you put a comma. Put a comma. When you put comma, then what are we looking for? We're looking for name. Name is represented by 2. You put 2, then we put a comma again, and then we type false because we want exact match. When we type our false, we cover our bracket, we click on enter, and voila. The person that has this ID is actually John. So let's go and check for ID 098. ID 098. So let's check. Okay, look at ID 098. So let's assume we are looking for, let's check another number. Let's just autofill. Let's autofill it. So remember that your data range needs to, you need to put your data range, you need to like make it constant, right? So you click on the, you click here like this and press your F4. Remember, you need to lock your data range. You press your F4, and then you also come over here also, you also press your F4 so that you can lock your data range, so that your data range, when you are trying to autofill, you will not start getting error. So we click on enter. Then the next thing we want to do is that we want to now autofill this thing by pressing the autofill undo. Oh, it's not working. So the autofill undo. So let's now check. Who is the owner of this ID at 011? Let's go and check on the table. Who is the owner of 011? 011 is actually Emmanuel. So you don't need to start looking for those things. So let's check for Monday. Monday is 017. So let's go and check. Over here also we see that Monday is actually 017. So we've done that for name. Let's now copy this thing. We copy this one here. You come and paste it here, right? Then there will be an error. The reason is because the person we are looking, what we are using to gauge, we are using what? We are using ID. So it's ID you're going to select. You are selecting our ID. Then every other thing is the same. But we are looking for a job title. We now come to where we have 2. We click away the 2. I'll put 5 there. I'll click on enter. I can see. So job title. John is an engineer. So we want to autofill. Everything is already locked. Like our data range is locked. You just press the autofill undo, and we have everything like this. So Beatrice is actually a cleaner. Samson is a material man. Moses is a security officer. Adeniji is a manager. Then this one is a facilitator, doctor, and so on and so forth. So you can see the way we are able to get it, right? VLOOKUP applied to those columns from manpower table. Any question? Is this complicated? Hope you understand the way I did it. Or maybe I should do this one again so that you see that it's the same thing that I did the first time. So let me delete all these ones. So let me do this one again. You understand the way we get John. Let's come here to the title, right? You click on equal to, right? Then you now press VLOOKUP. When you press VLOOKUP, you open the bracket, select what you want to go and use to trace those information. We are trying to use ID. You select where it is, you put a comma, then you now go and select your data range. Click on where manpower is, then select all the data range. These are the data range. Select all the data range. Once you select all the data range, right, you now put your comma. Once you put your comma, then the next thing you want to do is that you want to now say, okay, what am I looking for? I'm actually looking for their title. Title is on column 5. We now put 5. When you put 5, you put a comma, then type false because we want the exact match. We close your bracket. When you close your bracket, then this is our data range now. Remember, we need to lock it. We need to press F4 for our data range. We put F4. Okay, so F4. Now also behind F17, we also click our cursor there and also press F4, and everything has been locked. We click on enter. Then the next thing we want to do is we want to now autofill. We double click, and that is how we're able to get what we have gotten. So any question? There's no question. I will actually continue.
Sorry, please. Is it in all circumstances we will be using false? Though you were told us that if you don't want to get the exact data, that's when we use. But can we just experiment true to see how it would look like?
Okay, so if we use true, now let's assume we have, this is 098, right? Let's assume we now have 0. Let's assume we have 00. Sorry, let me put another 0. Sorry. Let's assume we have 009. 009, right? Let's put an enter. See, because we put 009 there, because we use false must go and get the exact part. So false, now go and check. In our data stuff, do we have 009, 0098? No, we only have 08. But if it's true, we use even something that is like to the answer is going to pick the answer. So let's come here, let's change it to true. So approximately, it's going to go and check. Even if they approximate something, so true. Okay, say no allowed. So that, oh, is it false? I'm putting, so this is going here. True. Okay. So at the same time, it's still not giving up. So I think this one is so obvious that 0098 is actually not 098. So it's not going to allow it. So let's put it back to 098. So I think probably is for spelling. For spelling, you see that here, I also put true here. I put true here. But let's assume this is a spelling. Assuming it's assuming just like the other time we had anyway, basically, I think to be on the safe side, right? Just always use false. False is going to get you exactly what you are looking for. As false, you can be rest assured that when you use false, it's going to give you the exact information. It's going to match this information, right? This thing that you use to select is going to match exactly to where your data is, right? Before you now start giving you the result that you have on that table. So that is just the basic thing. So always go for false. False can never mislead you. False is going to give you the exact thing that your mind is at rest that even if you go and check the table itself, it's exactly what you got that Excel is giving you that is also on that table. So that is what that is. Do you understand that, sir?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right. So we can also use it for these allowance and so you can also use this for these. So for all these, if we have a table, let me check. I'm coming. Let me check for this table. So this rate, this is X1. This is okay. So now the first one we looked at is VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP looks vertically. VLOOKUP will look at things vertically. However, HLOOKUP does the opposite. HLOOKUP does it looks at things horizontally, right? Horizontal. So vertical. I think this should be vertical. Why this should be horizontal? Am I right? For those of us that are mathematicians, this horizontal. Am I right? Why this is vertical? vertical? Somebody should confirm. Is this vertical or is this horizontal? Is this vertical or is this horizontal? Who can tell me? That should be vertical. Then things that
vertically
are
standing.
like, yes, so that is vertical. Then things that are like they're on the roll, that is what we call horizontal. Okay, so we can check for things horizontally. We can also check for things vertically. So if you're checking for things vertically, use VLOOKUP. If you're checking for things horizontally, you have to use HLOOKUP. Okay, so that is just what it is. So let's come over to our, so this is like allowance and deduction. Allowance and deduction. So item, we have medical, rent, Xmas, tax, and so on and so forth. So here now, we are not checking for things vertically like this. We can go and look for things horizontally like this. So let's go and look at what HLOOKUP is talking about. Let's come here. So they say that the function name or the function group, sorry, the function name should be HLOOKUP. The function name is HLOOKUP. The function group is it looks up, right? It looks up for something. So it searches for a value in the first row. Remember the first time they said in the first column, right? But now they say it searches for a value in the first row of a horizontal table array and returns a value in the column from another row in the table array. Okay, so the function argument is that it's a lookup value. We have to have a table array, we have to have column index number, we have to have range lookup. So yeah, this is a formula, exactly the way you have your formula before. The only difference is that you're going to have HLOOKUP here rather than you having VLOOKUP. Okay, so let's come and check what was done. So yeah, the other time we're having data like this. The data, this Argo, PMS, they were all standing like this vertically, right? They were standing like this vertically. Then all the prices were also standing vertically. But now you can see that product code is now horizontal. All the product code now, and they are now horizontal. And then the prices are also horizontal, right? So therefore, when you have your information horizontally like this, you want Excel to go and search like this. You want Excel to go and, not Excel looking for something like this. You don't want Excel to be looking for something like this, like this, like this, like this. You want Excel to look for something like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. You use HLOOKUP. So HLOOKUP here, we have our product code. They are all going down the road, while our unit price is also going down the road. Fine. So when you see information like this, just know that the best thing to use is actually your HLOOKUP. So what do? Exactly the way you did before. You come over here, right? Remember that we always lock our data range. So what do you want to get? We want to get the unit price for Argo, right? So what do? We now come here. Where's Argo? Where's Argo? Argo is on F8. F8. So when I say equal to, you type your equal to, you now say HLOOKUP, because we are looking for something on a column, sorry, on a row and not on a column. The things are not standing on a column, they are actually standing on a row. So when I say equal to HLOOKUP, you open your bracket. When you open your bracket, you now go and also select your data range again, the way we were selecting our data range before. When you select your data range, we now put a comma. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Am I right? Let me check. What am I doing, Seth?
No, that should be no.
Yeah, we've not selected what we are looking for. Sorry. Let's redo it. Right? Let's redo it. So now here, this is what we want to use to go and search for the unit price, right? So we now come here, when I say equal to, when I say HLOOKUP, then we open our brackets. Then what do we want to go and use to match what we are looking for? We want to use this thing, this Argo. We don't want to use to go and match what we are looking for. You put a comma. Then the next thing is that you will not select your data range. This is where your data range is. You select everything. Once you select everything, you put a comma. Once you put a comma, then what are we looking for? Are we looking for, yeah, so here, we're going to now check how many rows is our data in? Is our data in 2 rows, or is our data in 3, 4, or 5 rows? This, we're not talking about column. You know, column is like this. This column is like this. We're not talking about column. We're talking about rows. So how many rows is our product? How many rows do we have our data? Is 2 rows, Abi? And then unit price is it on the first row or on the second row?
Second row.
Yeah, so you're going to use 2. It's 2 that you're going to use here. Put your 2. When you put your 2, then you put your comma, and then you now press false. You press false, you close your bracket, you click on enter. Okay, so that's how we're able to get this. Then don't forget that your data range, you need to also make sure that your data range is locked by pressing F4. You lock your data range. So when you have locked your data range, you come to this one also, you press F4 also, you lock your data, fine. Then you click on enter. Then from there, you can now autofill. So you can just autofill downward like that, and you're going to get your answer. So that's how we're able to do this. Is there anybody that has any question before we move on? Then let's assume the unit that we want to sell is, let's say here we have 29. Do you have a question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go on.
Okay, my question is this: is it that we can't still use VLOOKUP to still demonstrate to get answers?
No, you cannot.
Or is that
You cannot. The reason is because the reason why we can't use VLOOKUP is that VLOOKUP is looking at, you know, if VLOOKUP want to look now, VLOOKUP is going to look at, for instance, let's assume, okay, you know, here we have our it's going to look at the first thing it's going to look at. This first thing here now, we have the product code. We don't have PMS here, anywhere here. We don't have AGO anywhere here. We don't have DPK anywhere here. So it's going to return an error for us because it's actually looking for AGO. And if it doesn't see AGO looking vertically, it will return an error. Whereas AGO is like this horizontally. So VLOOKUP is so Excel is going to go and look horizontally like this for it to be able to get where AGO is or PMS. But if you tell it to look vertically, it's going to be looking like this. This is how Excel will be looking at. Excel will not look at, it won't look at this place. It won't look at, so Excel always look at the first thing it's going to see in your data range. The first thing it's looking is what it's going to look at to match. So it's going to look here, vertical like this, and it's not going to see this AGO that we are trying to use to match other things. But if you tell Excel to look like this, Excel obviously will see it. Do you understand it, sir?
okay? Let me not delay the class. Maybe I'll go and study it on my own.
Yeah, so that's
I'll
just
study
it.
the. Okay.
So let's try what you said, okay? Just to get to see that truly you can get your answer. It's like you can't eat your cake and have it. So let's come here. Let's press VLOOKUP and click on enter. You can see what is happening. Why is it happening so? Because you're telling Excel, go and look like this. What we are trying to, the first thing you're telling Excel to do is to look for AGO. That's the first thing you're telling Excel. You're not telling Excel to go and check all the data range. You're telling Excel, look for AGO. So Excel comes to the first place where you can see the data. You come and look vertical like this, and it did not see AGO. That's why it returned this error sign for us. But if you tell Excel, go and look horizontally, you tell Excel will come and look like this, and it's going to see AGO. Then when Excel has seen AGO, then you cannot tell it, okay, go to row 2 or go to whatever row and pick the answer you are looking for. So that is how we're able to get that. Are we together?
Yes, okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. So that's that.
Hello, sir.
Any other question? I can hear you.
Yes, me too, sir. Yes, supposing we have a serial number, can we put serial number as part of our database?
It depends. Yeah, it depends on what you want to achieve. Actually, it depends on what you want to achieve. Now you know that serial number. Now let's come and look at the data set, right? So in order for us to achieve what you're saying, let's come to a data set. Now it won't be so good to use serial number for now. We always trying to match. We first of all match something with something before we now look for other things. So what are we trying to match? Yeah, let's check what we are matching. The first thing we are trying to match is we are trying to match. Okay, is this another? Okay, yeah. So yeah, we are trying to match the product code. Is what we want to match here. I'm trying to match product code here in our data set, so that after we've matched the product code, then we can now look for unit price, right? We first of all match the something. So it will not make sense for you to go and match serial number. So like you just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What happens if you and sort your data, and then the person does not know how to sort? If you want to sort something, make sure you are getting everywhere. If you have serial number here, don't say this number is not part of the information. But don't forget that you are using this serial number as your match. So if you want to sort, make sure you select everything like this. From where the headings, everything. If you want to even maintain position, that your data, you want what is on number 1 to remain number 1, what is number 2 to number 2, you have to select everywhere the information is and sort. Now, it's good when you understand why you need to do that. What if the person that sorted does not know that you are using serial number to match when you're trying to get a report? It becomes very difficult. But when you use the main item on your data, like you use rent, or you decide to go and use Xmas to match, okay, or you decide to go and use any other thing to match, not going to use serial number to match. You can see here now we are using ID number. ID number will never change. Felix ID number will always remain 033, right? Ivan's ID number will always remain 011. So even if anybody should sort this thing, if the person is also sorting, the person should also select ID number. When he's trying to sort, select everything. If you don't select everything, the ID number that belongs to somebody else, you can go and replace it and give it to another person because you did not sort properly. So when you're sorting is good. It enables us to be able to see all things that are identical alphabetically. You can see all the accountants that you have in your company. But you also note that when you are sorting, you need to be very careful. Make sure you are not leaving any information behind. Select all the headings of the information. Select all the headings so that when you are sorting, everything is moving simultaneously at the same time. Not like you're only selecting only net pay, and I want to sort it alphabetically. Net pay now, you will sort alphabetically, but these other people here, you will miss out. You will mismatch their net pay for each other. So you need to be very careful about that. Are we together? Are we together? Nobody is talking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are following you.
Okay. So I hope you are following me to the promised land.
Yes,
You
sir.
wanted to follow me, but follow me rightly.
Yes, we follow you, sir, strictly. But this database contains dollar sign, and if you want to use our dollar, if you want to constant our dollar sign again, if you want to, I mean the database, want to constant it in a VLOOKUP, can you accommodate it?
Okay, repeat your question again. I think I know where you are going
Yes,
to. Repeat your question again.
This data, so this series of data contains
Okay.
it contains dollar sign,
Okay. Yes.
and we see that it is likely to repeat dollar sign to constant our this data range in our VLOOKUP. Does it mean that it will not contradict each other?
No, it doesn't. It won't.
Hello, sir.
It will not. It will not. Sorry, it will not. Can you hear me?
Okay. It will not contradict.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm listening, sir.
Yeah, it will not contradict each other. It's like saying that you counted, you know, you withdraw money from the bank. You want to record the money, right? You counted the money. 1, 2, 3, you got like 50,000. Then, because you know that money usually have Naira sign, like that Naira sign. You're not saying when you want to write it down, you don't want to write Naira sign 50,000, thinking that it will contradict each other. It doesn't contradict each other. Do you understand it now? So it will not contradict each other. One is a data range. Range is different from cell. You must know that range, you are looking at where total information is range, right? So you're selecting a range, you're selecting from here, right? You can say, okay, so take here, then shift, enter, end. You're going to select everywhere. I think I've taught us how to select data, right? So now you have selected all the data range. As you selected all the data range now, is range is not the cell. You're not talking about the content of the cell. You're not talking about the content of this information. You're talking about the range. Where you're asking yourself that, okay, from where to where is my data containing, right? You're not talking about the individual cells itself. You're not talking about the content. It's the content I'm talking about. You're not talking about the content in that data. You're talking about the range. Range is actually different from the content, okay? So it's your data range that you need to put your dollar sign. It doesn't affect anything, okay? I feel that will be okay and you understand that, right? So let me now quickly do something to tell you that to differentiate between VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Here, they are giving you some information. They're telling you that this is use HLOOKUP applied to this E column, right? HLOOKUP applied to this E column from allowance and deduction. So if you go to allowance and deduction, right, you discover that allowance and deduction data is going this way. Data is going this way, right? So it's going on a row. Then this other one is going also on a row. We are not seeing the data arranged on a column like this. So it means that you're going to use HLOOKUP is what you're going to use, HLOOKUP. So they're telling you that, yeah, they want to populate this sheet. This payroll sheet is what they want to populate, right? So this payroll sheet, they say that they use it to get X marks, they got the medical, they got rent, because they're all in these allowances and deduction. So the only thing, it's very easy. Whether you're using HLOOKUP or you're using VLOOKUP, is the same formula. The only thing that differentiates both of them is just what you are going to use, whether you're going to say equal to VLOOKUP or you're going to say equal to HLOOKUP. So the beginning is what matters. The beginning, either you're going to say equal to VLOOKUP or you're going to say equal to HLOOKUP. They also check that your data, they are all arranged in a row. If your data are arranged in a row, you are going to use HLOOKUP. But if your data is arranged on a column, probably here you see medical, you see rent, you see Xmas, you see tax, you know that your data is arranged in a column. Use VLOOKUP. But if your data is arranged in a row like this, use HLOOKUP. Okay, I hope that really counts well. So let's do something, right? So let me now copy all these things again. And I want to make them stay in another way. So let me copy this. Then I come here, I come and transpose. Let me come here, then I click on right click. I come to this side and I want to transpose. Transpose. It's not transposing. What's happening? Undo. I'm coming to undo. Okay, Control Z, undo. So most times when you transpose, right? I'm coming, let me check again. This is paste link, sorry. Okay, this is transpose. So now at times you may have a data like this, and then you are saying that no, this is not the way your data should be. Your data should actually be in a vertical format. So just come here. Once you selected your data range, come to your right click, and look for this thing that look like as if an arrow is pointing somewhere. Look at it, and then this is going to transpose it. So now, look at these two, the same information, right? This is one information here. This is another information at the bottom. One is contained on a column: medical, rent, Xmas, tax, dues. The other one is contained on a row. So you can see anyone that is contained on a row, use HLOOKUP. Anyone that is contained on a column, use VLOOKUP. So let me also check that we are still following. Okay, so is that noted, everybody? I just needed to say that so that you understand what needs to be done. So fine. So I might give us this information, this data here. I might give us I will clean away this. I'll clean away this, right? So everywhere where we need to populate our information. So let me go and check that payroll again. This payroll, yeah. So this payroll now. This payroll, you're going to use this payroll and solve what you want to do. So this payroll, you can discover that they're pointing to where we use our HLOOKUP. So I'm going to delete all the information here because you need to populate the information yourself. You need to populate this information yourself. So I'm going to delete this information, right? So this information, you are going to get this information from the allowances and deduction table. So obviously this is the allowances and deduction table. So you come and check this allowances and deduction table. When you check it, you now ask yourself that, what am I to use for this allowances and deduction table? Am I to use VLOOKUP or am I to use HLOOKUP? So you need that this information. You need it here under this our payroll sheet. We need this information here under this our payroll sheet. Okay, you need to populate for medical, rent, and Xmas. The other thing you also need to populate for is, I think, tax. I think here we also have tax under the allowances. So we have tax. So you also need to get what the tax is. So I'm going to delete this also. So you are going to get this information from your data, so your allowances and deduction. And that thing you also want to get is, you also want to get VLOOKUP is applied to E column on, let me check, on salary advance table. So you come to salary advance table and come and check for this salary advance. There's a template that we used the other time that is showing us salary advance. So you come to salary advance. So salary advance now, you are checking for the salary advance, right? You're checking for salary advance, and that salary advance is what you're going to use to populate. We are trying to populate a payroll. So that salary advance, you're going to use it to do this place. So now, I want to copy all these things and delete them because I expect you to be able to populate them yourself. So I'll delete this one. Then here also, dues. This was also populated from the allowances and deduction table. So basically, 3 files is what I'm going to share for you. This first file is your advanced salary sheet. The second file is your allowances and deduction. The last one is your payroll. So your payroll is what you need to populate. Now you need two sheets to populate it. We need the salary advance sheet. You also need the allowances and deduction sheet. Those are the things you're going to use to populate it. So you're going to use both VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. So anywhere you just check, all you need to do is that just check the heading. This is medical. So where will I see medical? Come and check under deduction. Do I have medical here? Yes, there's medical here. So since there's medical here, what formula am I going to use, right? You go and check it. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to check the next one, rent, Xmas, tax, advanced salary, dues. You want to check where they are. Check your advanced salary, allowance and deduction. Check your advanced salary. Check where you're going to see all the information you're looking for. And once you're able to do that, you are going to be able to populate this payroll template. So I'm going to send it. I said that everybody is going to do it and submit it at us as the us. Okay, you can use any of these players of the staff, right? You can use the names of the staff, right? You can use anything. You can also use the deployed. You can use it. So you can check which is so you don't actually need, I think they actually delete anything, because if you're trying to you really need something to match something, right? You need something to match something. Okay, it is to match something. So they are using HLOOKUP, they are using this medical. So yeah, you are on this payroll template, right? If you are using this thing, medical is all you're trying to do, right? So you're going to say, if I want to work on this one now, okay, let me show us that thing. So you need to match something to something. Yeah, not to use to medicals. Medicals. That's again. So I want to come to this my table and look for this role and search for medical. Once for medical, then something that is opposite medical. So I come back to my payroll, I click here and I say, because I know that the information I'm looking for is actually on salary and deduction, then I'll ask them, this information, is it vertical or horizontal? Who can answer that question? Is it vertical or horizontal?
Horizontal.
Horizontal. So I now come, I know that because it's horizontal, I need the HLOOKUP. So and I say, okay, what am I looking for? Let me go back to my salary, to my payroll sheet. I come back to my payroll sheet and I say, okay, equal to, I'm looking for medicals, right? So I now say equal to, and I say that thing is horizontal. So I need to use HLOOKUP. Up, I open my bracket. Then what am I using to trace? I'm using medicals because it's medical I'm looking for. I use medical. I press my comma. Then I'm now going to select the data range. I come back to my allowances and deduction. I select my data range. This is my data range, right? This is my data range. When I select my data range, then I want to press comma. Then when I press comma, then I know that the information I'm looking for, is it on row 1 or row 2? The answer, the information that relates to medical will be on the second row, which is 2. I put 2 here. I put my comma and I put false. I put my false. Then don't forget that you also need to go back and make sure that you put what's it called? You put $sign. So just come to the beginning, press your F4. Press your F4. Then come to the end also, that is F3. The end of that last thing, also press F4. So you're going to make both of them absolute. So you press enter, and now you have gotten your medical. So you can quickly autofill. Oh, hold on. VLOOKUP, and I'm coming. VLOOKUP. Oh, sorry. So you cannot do it that way. You have to delete it. You delete it, right? The reason that is not working that way is because what we are looking for is like this. So copy like this to everywhere information is, drop it. So that is where information is. Medical. But wait to actually to get for medical for this guy now. Oh, so I need to, okay, so because this hand is a thing. So I like what I'm going to do is that we're going to else. So the medical, we're going to make it come on. Our F2, our medical is on F2, right? We're going to make our F2. We know that we want this row 2 will be permanent. We want it to move from F to G to H to like that. So what we are going to do is that we will make our 2 permanent. So put the sign in front of 2 to make sure that everything is on 2. It doesn't leave row 2, right? It doesn't leave row 2, but it can move away from F to G and go to
Your screen, you're not showing your screen.
what from your end, sir. is from and that's my screen. You can see my screen. Give me a thumbs up. You can see my screen. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, others can see my screen, sir. It's you. So it's on
Your
your end.
screen is showing, but what you are showing, what you are seeing the Excel, you are just showing the screen. You are not showing the Excel you are working on. That's what I'm saying.
The screen
I
is
was showing
frozen.
it before you.
Your screen is frozen. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, what I'll do is let me on show my screen. Please sharing. And let me share again. Present something else. Stop presenting. Stop presenting. It's not stopping presentation. Okay, it's not stopping presentation. That means something is actually wrong with, as you said. I think it's network. Okay, it has stopped presenting. Let me now present again. Okay, so basically, I know that this thing I want to give us is going to really shake us. The exercise I want to give us is going to shake us. So I'm going to send it to us, and I need us to populate everything. It's going to shake us. Now, knowledge of and relative referencing is going to come here now. And knowledge of absolute and relative referencing is going to also test your ability to think. Right? So I think on that note, we can stop the class now. We have 3 minutes to give this exercise, and I'm very sure I can assure you that this exercise is going to shake you. All this information there so that you can tie it. I'm sure it's going to shake you. Do you want me to do one so that you can see more?
We cannot hear you. We cannot hear you.
And the voice gapping.
Yeah, we cannot hear you at all. So,
It's a network. It's a network. But don't worry, if you play the video, you will actually be able. So we're done with the class now. We end the class. This assignment I'm giving us, let us go and try. Can you my voice? Give me a thumbs up. Are you gonna see who can hear me?
It still remain the same. We hardly will can understand you, sir. And the voice is gapping or breaking. Up. Thank you.
Okay, so that is okay, thank you. So let's stop class now. Is the network is not my fault, is the network. So we stop the class, we can finish more time. Thank you everybody for your time. You have a lovely rest.
Thank you, sir.
You have a lovely yeah. Do have a lovely night rest.